Hi there. I wanted to jump on here today and talk a little bit about my recent appointment that I had. I haven't been on, I didn't get on last week, and I apologize for that. I was actually feeling really well and able to do a lot, and I just got so busy. I didn't really know what to talk about last week either. I didn't really have any information yet. I had an update, but I really wasn't feeling bad. I lost quite a bit of hair last week, but it was just a routine Taxol appointment that I had. Really wasn't having any other symptoms. This week I just had was my 7-week appointment, and I had the 3 drugs: Herceptin, Perjeta, and Taxol, and still losing a ton of hair. Also, I'm getting mouth sores. So I have mouth sores on my tongue today, so I'm going to try to keep this brief as it kind of hurts to talk. All the doctor basically said about that was to swish with baking soda, salt water, warm water solution that they give you a recipe for. So do that every time I eat. I'm not finding a ton of relief in that. I think that's more of a preventative. Now that I have the cold sores, I'm finding that if I actually put baking soda, make a paste with water and put it right on my tongue, and kind of don't close my mouth, and just do it as long as I can stand it basically, and then rinse it out. That is giving me quite a bit of relief. But I still have the sores, so it's just kind of frustrating. But I'm not really nauseous. I've had diarrhea, but just taking Imodium AD for that as soon as I get it now, and not waiting. So yeah, we just had an appointment with a radiation oncologist last week, and I wanted to read a quote that I had read out of a book that somebody gave me, The Cancer Whisperer by Sophie Savage. And the quote is, "Exceptional patients refuse to be victims. They educate themselves and become specialists in their own care. They question the doctor because they want to understand their treatment and participate in it. They demand dignity, personhood, and control no matter what the course of the disease." Quote by Bernie S. Siegel, MD. So I think that it's huge when you're going through any illness or disease or anything really. You need to be your own advocate and advocate for yourself, fight for yourself, fight for your treatment. Is this treatment right for you? From the beginning, I don't like a lot of medicine. I'd like to be as natural as I possibly can, but when you have breast cancer, there statistically is no evidence that trying to be holistic about it or all natural about it is going to save your life. You know, the statistics are take these drugs and you live inevitably. So I'm not going to risk it. But right now, you may know my options are lumpectomy, where they just cut out the cancer tumor, and they cut out what the area encompassed when the cancer was there. So when they did the biopsy, the needle probed in and got good cells, bad cells, tumor, bad cells, and then good cells. So when it pierced the tumor, they have an exact size of what size the tumor was. So they'll be cutting out that to get clear margins. They'll cut all of that out, but there's still a danger that the bad cells might have affected the good cells in the area around it. So you still have to do radiation. So that's with the lumpectomy. We went to see the radiation oncologist, and he was very comfortable with the thought that I would only need to do 20 treatments, and that's basically 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, meeting with him every Tuesday, and it's an hour appointment, but when you're actually underneath of the machine, it's about 15 minutes, maybe less. So what they do at your first time is they give you, I believe, a CAT scan, so they know where your heart and your lungs are, and they map basically where your tumors are in relation to those arteries, organs, I think, so that they don't damage them. They do warn you that there can be radiation damage to your heart and lungs, so they have you actually take a deep breath, hold that breath while the radiation beams are activated. And from what I'm gathering, if you accidentally release your breath, the machine automatically shuts off. So there's a lot of like science behind it all. And I did pose a question out there to the survivor community. You know, what is the likelihood of me having, you know, a heart disease or a lung issue because I choose radiation? And there really has not been any issues that you could link directly to radiation. I mean, a lot of the women that do end up with heart disease are older women anyway. They got the breast cancer when they were older, and they would have had it anyway. So you can't link it directly to the radiation. So, my doctor's saying, 20, it would basically be 4 weeks, 20 appointments, driving to Bangor. So, I mean, these are options. This is an option that I have. I've got to drive up there every day for 4 weeks. As far as I was like trying to compare it to radiation. When I think of radiation, I think of like bombs and really bad things. But this, I guess, is a different type of radiation. The other option I have is proton. I don't know if it's called radiation. Proton therapy, I think it's called. And that's done, the closest place from me here in Maine is Boston. Proton therapy. I don't know a ton about it, and I haven't really looked into it because I can only assume that it's going to be at least 20 appointments as well. And going to Boston, my time frame is going to be probably February, March. It's just not feasible for me to be traveling to Boston that time of year, and it's just a lot. So my other option is just a plain old simple mastectomy. And so we're going to be having an appointment with the plastic surgeon, not this week but next. And so I'll do a video on that and update you on what we find out about that. My surgeon suggested that I do this to just collect as much information I could about the pros and the cons of each and weigh them both to determine what would be best for me to help me make a more educated decision about, you know, my future. Because, you know, obviously the decision that I make is going to be with me for the next, 40 years or however long I do end up living. We'll leave that in God's hands, but basically it will be, it could affect the likelihood of reoccurrence. And they're saying that statistically, lumpectomy versus mastectomy, it's very marginal, the difference between reoccurrence, like, less than 5%, one or the other. You can get breast cancer again, even if you have a mastectomy, you can get it in the same breast. So it's not like it's going to totally eliminate the risk of having a reoccurrence. And the radiation is what makes it more like on an even playing field with the mastectomy, because the radiation kills all those cells. And it basically is like, from what I'm gathering, really bad sunburn, and the first time might not be so bad the second time, but it's progressive, and the more you get through your treatment, the more it hurts. It basically feels like a really bad sunburn. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they use a lot of creams right after. Some people use creams, before, just to get prepared for it. So it's kind of a scary thing that, for me to think about, but so isn't reconstruction, mastectomy, everything is scary, the whole thing. But I really don't have a choice. So just trying to figure out what the lesser of the evils are for me. So I hope that was somewhat informative. And I hope you all have a good day, and thank you for watching and following me, and like my page if you would, and share if you'd like. Thank you all, and